Wrestling. It's been my favorite thing for a long time, and I've been watching for years. Now I started watching it around 2009 ish, and to this day in 2020, still clinging on. But let's talk about wrestling real quick. Wrestling is a universally loved thing. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes wrestling is universally loved. Everybody always peeps their head around during WrestleMania season or during the Royal Rumble. People watch wrestling, and watching wrestling makes certain people at least a lot of money. Like for example, Vince McMahon makes a lot of money off of a lot of people watching his program. Tony Khan and the higher ups at AEW make a lot of money off of people watching their program. The higher ups in Impact Wrestling make a lot of money watching their program. So welcome to the first ever episode of the Dangerous Podcast, where basically I will be talking to you guys about wrestling and other stuff that I like superheroes and video games and a bunch of other stuff. So let's start off with my top 5 dream matches for AEW versus Impact. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, Trey, what are you talking about? You're just rambling on about wrestling. Well, AEW and Impact recently, it seems that they've come to a deal where they can trade wrestlers in between the two companies. So, basically, I am here to bring up my personal dream matches that I have. You guys might not have the exact same, but I have these. So, I'm currently going to my notes, and we're going to go down the 5 AEW versus Impact dream matches. So, let's start with number 5, AEW's Eddie Kingston versus Impact's Eddie Edwards in a street fight. Now, I feel as if these two can go at it give these two 20 minutes in the ring, all the weapons in the world, and just let them beat the ever-loving you-know-what out of each other. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be so much fun to watch. So if AEW and Impact have a combined pay-per-view, I would definitely want to see that match on there. Number 4, Impact's Jordan Grace versus AEW's Thunder Rosa. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I love AEW to death, but AEW's women's division is not as solid as it could be. Now, Impact's knockout division is amazing. They have some of the best women on the roster. If I were to rank the women's divisions all over the entire wrestling world, it would be Impact at the top, WWE in the middle, and AEW at the bottom. Now, if I were to add in other companies, then that would be a longer list. But for now, from just what I watch, which is Impact, AEW, and WWE, from what I watch, those are the top. Those are just, in my opinion, the best. Wrestling, women's wrestling division. So having the best in Impacts, in my opinion at least, Jordan Grace, maybe Taya Valkyrie or maybe Rosemary or Sue Young or any of those could work, but Thunder Rosa, in my opinion, is one of, if not the best in AEW's women's division today. So those two in the ring would be absolute magic. And if you wanna for AEW, you could say maybe Big Swole or Dr. Britt Baker, or there's some good women on the roster. They just haven't put them on display enough. Okay, no. So now, up next we have AEW's Sami Guevara versus Impact's. Either these are two people who could be in two different spots. These two guys could be in that spot. Either Impact's Ace Austin or Impact's Chris Bay. Now, all three of these guys are extremely confident, but they are extremely good in the ring, and they're able to back it up in the ring every single week, night in and night out. And if you've been watching AEW, which you should, but if you've been watching AEW, you'll see that Sami Guevara is kind of going through a face turn, sort of, question mark. It's not 100%, it's not 100% finalized, but he's sort of like this tweener character, because he's, in the inner circle. However, he is, at odds, I guess you could say, with MJF. So, either and on Impact side, Ace Austin is also extremely overconfident, but able to back it up in the ring, along with Chris Bay. If you haven't been watching Impact on Tuesdays on Access TV, you guys should. That's not a sponsorship. I'm just saying you guys should watch the show. But yeah. So the second to last match will be AEW's Abaddon versus Impact's Su Yung. Now, in my personal opinion, I feel like A, Su Yung should definitely win this match, and B, I feel like Abaddon could definitely give Su Yung an amazing run for her money. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is number 2. So before we get into the number 1 match, I'm going to give out some honorable mentions. First of all, either Impact's The North or Impact's Motor City Machine Guns against FTR, against AEW's FTR. So those tag teams are just the 3 greatest tag teams in the entire world today. So I think those guys could be magic together. Up next, Darby Allin versus either Crazy Steve, AEW's Darby Allin versus either Crazy Steve, Eric Young, or Madman Fulton. Now, excuse me, I believe that Darby Allin is legitimately one of the best young wrestlers in the world, not just in AEW, in the world. So I think that match between any 3 of those guys would be amazing. Crazy Steve is, really weird. Eric Young is really weird, and Madman Fulton is huge. So you could, excuse me, you would have David versus Goliath story with Madman Fulton and Darby Allin. And now we're going to go to number 1, a 5-on-5 elimination match, AEW's best versus Impact's best. Now, some of Impact's best are already on this card, so I couldn't really use them, but it would be AEW's Jon Moxley, Darby Allin, who, yes, I did already put him as an honorable mention, Jon Moxley, Darby Allin, Mr. Brody Lee, Chris Jericho, and Brian Cage. Those 5 guys are probably, like, the best on the roster today. Yes, I will say that with 100% seriousness, because that is exactly what I believe. And Impact has the Good Brothers, Gallows and Anderson, Tommy Dreamer, TJP, and Willie Mack. Now, those guys on Impact could really deserve a big push, so if they could get an upset victory against AEW, have Willie Mack be the sole survivor, be the last guy in the match, and then have him be up against Brody Lee, Moxley, and Jericho, or maybe Brody Lee, Moxley, and Cage. If they have that 3-on-1 advantage and have Willie Mack end up in the end as the winner, he eliminates all 3 of them, not easily, but he eliminates all 3 of them, and then you work around that could be amazing, and that could be a big push for Willie Mack. So that's it for today, which is currently day 5 of the it's day 5 of the 25 Days of Danger series. So I hope you guys are enjoying this so far. Still really trying to get these videos out, so I hope you guys are enjoying it, and I will see you guys later, and peace.